Good morning, beautiful souls. Happy Friday. Tim Wild's Ascension update. I'm in the woods. It's a beautiful morning. Beautiful morning, and there's been a lot coming in. Now, I know we've got an incredible moon event coming up on the 15th and the 16th, the full moon. The Buddhist Festival of Wesak on the 16th, and I've been seeing and feeling a vast increase in the downloads. I'd almost say we've entered what I call download season at the moment. We've had a lot of preparation time for what's occurring around us. The last 2 years, I was thinking to myself, what about the gravity, the scope, the magnitude of the changes that we've encountered in the last 2 years, or just over 2 years now. On Sunday, I'm presenting my first live workshop for, well, the last time I presented live was in Sweden at the beginning of February in 2020, with a workshop that was hosted by my friend Lavisa Alton, and I went to Sweden for the weekend with Diana Cooper and Rosemary, and that from that point onwards everything shut down. Travel became either kind of non-existent or very, very difficult, and everything kind of transferred online for a little bit. Initially that seemed like a beautiful and like an easier way of communicating. Well, especially for me, I've been up to that point, I've been traveling at least once a month, holding multiple kind of live talks and workshops, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, sat behind a computer, this is easy, isn't it? But it very rapidly, the vibration of that changed back into kind of a yearning for physical communication, the actual the closeness and the quality of live interaction, which of course we missed out on. But I digress. The thing that is playing on my mind the most is just how much we have grown, how much the world has changed in that period of time, from that final pre-lockdown presentation to the one that I'm going to be doing on Sunday. And it is colossal. It's to put markers in every single event that's occurred energetically since the beginning of that time. I'd simply be talking about that all day. You know, I managed to kind of highlight every energy service, upsurge, cleansing, download, portal opening, cosmic gateways, everything that's occurred in the last 2 years and 3 months. And everything that has occurred has been done specifically for a reason, to have a target result. Now, the majority of that has been to prepare us and our potential future society, the structure, the fifth dimensional matrix, for a complete transition. The transition from the third dimensional vibration that we were all racing to get away from, calling in our highest selves, dedicating ourselves to our highest pathway, claiming that we want change, inviting it in, wishing to see the world in a different state, and all of a sudden it occurred. And like I've said before, it might not necessarily, the changes or the way in which the change is occurring might not necessarily have been a comfortable one. It might not have been the one that we thought we ordered, but then again, change never is. The restructuring of the dynamics of our new living space has never been done before on this world. it was simulated for 1,500 years in Atlantis, which is something that I talked about last Friday, is the golden era of Atlantis. Okay, everybody who's got a bead or a pinpoint on Atlantis is either kind of working with their personal memories, or who they were, what they were doing back then, or focused upon the trauma, the collective shared trauma of the fall. I personally choose to look at the 1,500 years within which the Atlantean civilization held a fifth dimensional frequency. So I regard that as the pinnacle, or the target. They achieved what they set out to do. Took 260,000 years to nail it, but ultimately that little 1,500 year window where they maintained a fifth dimensional vibration, where they were in harmony with themselves, with each other, with the part of the planet that they were using and that they were integrating with. And I think that was an incredible spiritual feat to do that, because they did it under the most incredibly pressurized circumstances, holding that frequency in a physical body, creating a balanced society when the rest of the planet is completely 3D. That was an incredible thing to do. So at the moment, we are surging towards and holding that vibration that the Atlanteans held for 1,500 years at the moment. That's where we are at the moment. We've got that light level. We've got that quotient within our bodies and fields. We're holding it. And dare I say it, we're even surging higher and onwards beyond that. But the very different part about it is, at the moment, is that we are kind of almost individually beaconing that light from wherever we are in the world, and the ultimate goal is to restructure everything around us so that it vibrates at the same frequency. So this is why we're being pushed so hard with the cleansing, with the rebalancing, with the karmic clearances, with the balance, with the Akashic records kind of coming up consistently to be looked at, to viewed in a shadow form, released, so that all the karmic timeline leading up to this point is cleared, and all of the other, and everything falls into balance. So we have been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed to clear, to make space for the light that I can see and perceive is coming in now at a very high frequency. So the other night, not last night, the night before, I kind of lying in bed, and I just done my kind of nightly routine. Right, I'm going off to bed now. I'm lights out. Go and spend a bit of time in Archangel Metatron's Ascension Center, and all of a sudden I felt one of those waves come in. Now, contrary to popular belief, I'm not a particularly visual person, okay? So all of the things that I have seen that I know are spiritual, I can count them on the fingers of both of my hands over the entire span of my life here on this planet. I've only seen a set amount of events or occurrences that I will remember, because they've been literally burned into my third eye as a memory. And the other night was one of them. I was lying there and I felt that familiar kind of, it's almost a little bit like you sat there and it's like, right, okay, the Schumann resonance has gone up, or there is a download of light coming in, or one of the X flares has kind of made landfall from the sun, and you know there's a wave of energy coming. But this was completely different. It's almost like with my eyes shut, it's almost like I opened my eyes and there was a kaleidoscope in front of me. So my entire third eye turned into like this moving kaleidoscope of really beautiful colours, but they were moving fast, and so it wasn't a relaxing, oh look at that, that's amazing kind of thing. It was something that I felt like I had to hold on to. It's all right, okay, this could, if I don't focus on this and I don't balance it with this, it could easily become unmanageable. So this complete kaleidoscope of very, very fast moving colours. It's almost completely rearranging how my third eye kind of was perceiving everything around me previously. So and then afterwards, after it kind of calmed down, after about half an hour, I was like, right, okay, is it going to be one of those nights, or can I go to sleep now? And then I just shut off, and that was that. But the intensity of that particular restructuring really caught me. It didn't surprise me, but it caught me out, because that's the way they work. If a lot of the time we knew we were going to go for an upgrade, or we knew something was coming in and we were given lots of warning about it, we'd be able to prepare ourselves, and a lot of the time the human mind would step in the way, or we'd step in the way, or we'd create some kind of barrier to that upgrade that would mean it wasn't quite so effective. But they always get you they always get you when you least expect it, and that you are the most kind of pliable, and the you know, and you'll be at your most least resistant point. So there I was, and this huge kind of, like, if it wasn't so colourful, it would have felt like turmoil. I would have thought that maybe that something was coming in that I needed to clear, but it wasn't. It was utterly stunning. The colours were purple, kind of gold, white, pink, magenta, and just literally almost in like patches sewn together, but rotating clockwise and anti-clockwise around the crystal ball of my third eye. And so yesterday I had that very kind of the traditional energy hangover, where I woke up and everything's kind of a little bit kind of deadpan. It's a little bit like, right, okay, well, that was fun last night, I want some more. But nothing's really occurring. I could tell my body had gone into integration. So this is a very distinctive difference that you and I will be noticing now from 2 years ago. This is how much we have changed in the last 2 years. So all of these cleansings, all of these downloads, all of this making room, making space, the dark night of the souls, the incredible gateways that we've been pushed through, the painful situations that we've had to master and navigate, all of this has been to make room for the incredible quantity of light that we are now privy to, that we are receiving. So some of you might have noticed this the other evening. It was 10 p.m. UK time. We're in British summertime at the moment, and it was Wednesday night. So if there was I'm sure many other, I checked with my good friend David Ettery, and he said yes, we his wife and him felt something coming in. A few other people kind of verified it, but all on different kind of levels and different scales. So what we're looking at is a big increase in the platform of light that is around us at the moment. And this is hardly surprising, considering that we are now in eclipse season. So we've had the powerful new moon, we're moving up to a full moon. Everything is pointing towards this restructuring of how we function at a fifth dimensional frequency. So as I said earlier on in the video, this is indeed upgrade season. You've done your clearing, you've done your spiritual, and maybe I'm seeing so many of you beautiful souls who are going through the physical detox process, not getting dumped in bed for 2 weeks with the flu because you weren't looking after yourself, or your body needed to cleanse, or you've done too much and hadn't cut yourself enough slack and time. I'm talking about actually physically taking on a detox, dry fasting, juicing, water only. I haven't personally done this myself, but it is on my list of things to try at some point, because I think it's the results that I'm seeing from people around me are incredible, and we're reassigning our bodies to do different tasks at higher frequencies. So, and many of us are just doing this via natural guidance. We're being propelled to do it. We're being ushered by our higher selves and our teams to take distinctive steps to ensure that our bodies are looked after. Because despite all of the fighting that we've done with this physical unit over the years, it's our most precious commodity. You'll only get one physical you in this incarnation, and if we're looking after it, it functions, and it functions well. If we don't, which is what a lot of society, in fact the whole of 3D society has been structured to make the physical body function below par to end its cycle early, to run on toxins and poisons and things that it shouldn't ingest, as well as the incredible amount of programming, both conscious and subliminal, to convince us occupying that physical body that it's going to fail after a set or designated period of time. There's a very common belief system, particularly in the older kind of scriptures, where the physical body isn't designed to live for 80 to 100 years maximum, less if you were kind of like born in the 1930s or the 40s or something. The human body has the potential, under the right frequencies, circumstances and vibrations, to exist for 300 years. And that's if we are fully looking after it, and that's taking away all of the stresses and strains of modern living. But we're changing, okay, and this the evidence is in everybody around us, the responsibilities that we're now taking for this precious physical vessel. So your physical vessel is being upgraded, okay. I was looking for kind of like the tag, the kind of the tag for May, and it's upgrade season. The quality of what we're receiving at the moment is simply to put us into a higher framework. Okay, before, all of the light that we were receiving was to upgrade us, but it was also to boot things out of our bodies and fields that weren't in alignment. So you might be now looking or listening to what I'm saying this morning with a completely different set of wiring within your third eye. You might be speaking to friends, loved ones, colleagues with a completely different vibration from your throat. Or you might be engaging with the people around you with a heart which is operating at a much higher frequency. You might be entering relationships with other people, interactions of any variety, with a sacral that has been balanced and cleared, because you have gone through the tests and the initiations that you need to in order to actually be able to function on a fifth dimensional vibration. And another one that I've seen so many changes occurring with and so many tests within are the solar plexus. The solar plexus has been, mine in particular, has been very balanced and very calm recently, because I worked with it. I removed the energies that were linking into my solar plexus, that were draining my light, that were causing me alarm or alerting my bodies and fields to potential intrusions of energy. Now, even if, it doesn't matter where you are on the ascension process, it doesn't matter whether you have stepped into your role as a teacher or a leader or a way shower or a light anchor, or whatever your role of service is, one of the things that you will have to navigate is your ability to handle other people's energies, because ultimately that's another thing that the 2 years that we had, that, you know, from the beginning of 2020 right up until quite recently, all of a sudden, when, I don't know whether you all remember, but do you remember that period of utter peace in April 2020, when the whole world came to a standstill, and all of a sudden us, you know, like the highly empathic amongst us, suddenly didn't have to deal with that turbulence, that racing energy that you find most obviously concentrated within the density of cities, but the general overall vibration of everybody is they just stopped and went, now what do I do? and I can remember it very, very clearly. But we've now got to the stage after years of training where we can achieve that vibration regardless of the turbulence around us. And peace is a choice, okay? Happiness is a choice, because we are asked to make that choice for that vibration, that mindset, that switch in frequency on a minute-to-minute basis on this planet. So regardless of the turbulence of the third dimension, regardless of the movement of these energies all around us all the time, we are now disciplined and trained enough to be that unified pillar of light, that calm, that eye of the storm. And I believe that the remainder of this year, although it is going to move very quickly, and although it is probably going to present some of the most incredible scenarios coming up from 3D, that we are going to feel empowered, at peace, on top of our situation and our process, come to this winter solstice. And you know, we've got to walk through the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere yet. We've got the Lion's Gate. That will be my litmus test, because the Lion's Gate for me is always really full on. Then of course we roll towards the winter solstice, and then it's the end of the year. Now, in the years gone past, we've kind of almost crawled through that winter solstice gateway. God, thank God for that. I hope the next year is you know, I hope it's not as challenging as that one. I can't wait for that new fresh January energy. And I'm fully intending to cease that pattern from this point onwards. And because I do believe that we should be able to experience that peace, that clarity, that January freshness within our days at the moment. Okay, so before we kind of roll into more moons, more eclipses, more retrogrades, all of the other spiritual gateways that a lot of us kind of feel a little bit like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to have to brace myself for this. The energy is going to be colossal. I'm going to get burnt out. Let's enjoy this. Okay, we're being given the opportunity now to actually start stepping into these wonderful vessels that we have had very well honed and trained for us, and actually master the situations we're being presented with. So let's set, you know, like just for the sake of it, and I'll try and remember this recording. Let's set this target now. So come the winter solstice, we're going to be feeling on top of the world, and we're going to have achieved so much in the 7 months. Over the next 7 months, it means we're going to be going through all of these amazing gateways, being uploaded, being completely filled with light, having new keys, codes, cloaks around our shoulders, responsibilities placed upon us, but we're going to do it feeling on top of the world. That's what I feel the energy of May is asking us to do at the moment, is step into this ascension process, into full upgrade season, but with open arms, enjoying it. and doing what we've doing what we've incarnated to do on this planet with happiness. Because ultimately, what is the target if we're not here to enjoy this incarnation, to appreciate what we have around us, to love the vibration of the physical that we have been gifted with? Food for thought. So some of you lovely people I will see on Sunday at Bewley in Hampshire, and I want to just give a big shout out to my friend David Essery for putting so much hard work into the Ascension Toolkit. Now I know David and I, when we've worked together and we put some information out earlier in the year, we have created together an Ascension Toolkit. Okay, now this Ascension Toolkit is a go-to for spiritual information, for the things that you want to know on a daily basis, working with the chakras, the 4 bodies, protection, grounding, what are archangels, masters, unicorns, all of the questions that you might be asking if you've just stepped onto the spiritual pathway, or a little bit further on down the line. There's also going to be a glossary of terms, or a dictionary of things that you might hear me saying, or you might hear David saying, or you might hear anybody else saying, and you're like, what does that actually mean? Well, it's all in the Ascension Toolkit, and it's going to be completed online and available soon, so please check it out. I'll put the information in the details afterwards. Sending you loads of love. Have a beautiful weekend. I will be back on Monday. Bye for now.